Trolldier. Jumping around and hit people with a shovel or some other melee-like objects sounds like it could be ineffective and stupid. While it is stupid, it can actually be pretty effective at certain times. Is it optimal? No. Is it fun? Of course it is. But if you're new to Trolldering or haven't experimented with other weapons, you might pick weapons that don't suit you or your playstyle. That's why in this video, I'm going to make a tier list that rates every secondary melee weapon in Trolldier's arsenal and give you my thoughts on when you should run each weapon. Note that I'm rating these items based on how well they pair with the jumper, as that's really the only primary that Trolldier's allowed to use in most cases. Also, as with any tier list, I have to inform you that this tier list is based off my experiences with the weapons and a bit of my opinions here and there. So if you disagree with me, that is okay, just don't leave a comment that I'll never read. With all that out of the way, let's start at the bottom of the barrel with the F tier. F tier. Weapons that don't do anything or are pointless to run over other weapons. The gunboats fit this definition perfectly, as the extra blast jump resistance is not going to help you when the jumper already does no blast damage. Sure, on regular Soldier, these things are pretty much the meta right now, but that's not what we're talking about. On Trolldier, you'd be better off literally with everything else. That's why they're at the bottom. Man, the Bison is just sad. A weapon that's essentially been dead on arrival, and Valve decided to have to be brutally stabbed once more and meet your match, for no reason. Thankfully, they kinda reverted in Jungle Infernos, but not really. So, Valve, you might want to get around to doing that, and possibly put this thing in an actual usable state while you're at it. But as of now, it's barely that. Sure, you might be able to get some cool crit kills every now and then, but you'd really just be better with anything else except the gunboats, which I guess that's why it's D tier. Moving on. While this weapon isn't entirely useless, it's just not a very good melee weapon, as the added damage taken is not going to help you when you're kissing distance of every enemy. But if you're primarily using a shotgun, this weapon is actually pretty good at doing what it's named after, escaping. Plus, the taunt kill is always pretty useful in a pinch. Nothing too noteworthy though, so we're going to move on. I'll admit, this weapon is pretty funny. Sure, it has less damage when you're at high health, but the ability to one-shot most classes with a random crit while you're at 30 health is too funny to pass up in my opinion. Sure, there are better weapons than it, but this weapon does have some hidden potential with the added damage. With no passives to its name, this weapon is pretty hard to value, as the only value you get out of it is blocked behind a 600 damage wall. Sure, if you manage to get past that, the mini crits for a couple of seconds is pretty powerful in the right hands, the right situation, but that wall is something that really pulls this weapon down. The other two banners are just better than it in every way because they have passives that make getting to their damage thresholds much easier. Without anything like that, this banner just cannot compete with the others.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
"20 health is a lot of health. It doesn't sound like a lot of health, but in reality, with the way damage thresholds work, it really is a lot. Plus, the banner effect is really useful for Trolldier, as crit prevention and damage reduction is useful for a class that's already going to be taking a lot of damage. The problem is that you do have to do 600 damage to get that upside, and it only lasts a couple of seconds. While that's not awful, other weapons could just provide more value than the battalion's backup can, which is why it's an A tier. Moving on. Passive health regen is something that a class that already takes a ton of self damage can really put to use. Plus, a speed boost and health on hit allows for you to sustain yourself for much longer than you'd usually expect from a stupid pot-wearing Trolldier. and this weapon charges faster than the other banners, only requiring 408 damage to charge instead of the usual 600. Of course, 408 damage is still a lot, but it's going to save off a considerable amount of time in comparison to the other banners. Decent damage, decent utility, and the ability to meme just makes all of these weapons really decent. Sure, there are better weapons, but who's going to complain that the stock weapons are bad? Sure, you get no utility with it, but you have a reliable weapon that is guaranteed to give out its worth during the match where other weapons might not do anything at all. Sure, some weapons are technically better than it and could technically do more during a match than the good old shovel, but you can't really go wrong with it, which is why it's an A tier. I always forget this weapon is equipped by Trolldier, and in doing so, I always forget how great of a weapon it is for Trolldier. 100 health on kill is nothing to scoff at, and can allow for you to build up a nice stack of health so you can blindly jump into danger with nothing to worry about. Other than the fact that you could be one-shot by another Trolldier or demo who's also using the Zatoichi, but the chances of that are pretty slim, so really this weapon is worth using if you like getting a large health pool and jumping blindly into danger. I get that a lot of people don't like this weapon on Trolldier since it's not the Mantreads, but I definitely respect anyone who uses this weapon as long as they don't use it in a for fun Trolldier tool, because that's just not a nice move. Anyway, it's the shotgun, 90 damage up close, drop off pretty considerably at range, you know the deal. This weapon is a great secondary for any Trolldier who's willing to forego some extra mobility in exchange for actual reliable damage that's not locked behind some stupid gimmick. Since you can't use this weapon's main upside, this weapon's only decent upside is that it has a faster switch speed, which is great for comboing from your melee. And it only costs you 2 shots from your clip, which isn't half bad. Just as long as people don't find out you can use it to shoot down other Trolldiers, this weapon's pretty balanced. No, seriously, don't do that. It's just not nice. Just don't do it. Okay, let's move on. Okay, unpopular opinion, but personally I hate this weapon. The weird spread pattern and extra bullets in each shot just keep me away from this weapon. But statistically, it is slightly better than stock at close range, which is where Trolldier wants to be anyway. So I'm kind of forced to put it in S tier, but I never use this thing. Sure, if you master it, you could technically do better than stock in certain situations, but I'll stick with my square spread instead of a rectangular one. Now, initially, I was going to bring these things down to A tier as I thought they were overshadowed by the shotguns in most cases. But in reality, the matches are just too good to be overshadowed by a shotgun. Would I rather have a shotgun in a lot of cases? Yes, but man, the extra mobility and the ability to get a ton of knockback is just super useful in the current meta with all the stunts and slows. You kind of really need these to get the cool market guards nowadays, and in reality, just Trolldier in general. But I'd still rather prefer a shotgun. What'd you expect? No, seriously, this is the best melee for Trolldier by miles. Nothing tops this thing in damage in competitive servers, or servers without random crits. But with them enabled, some melees can definitely come close, but really, there is nothing more satisfying and more powerful than hitting a guard. So why wouldn't it be S tier? I mean, I guess I could be a hipster and make some dumb argument, but then I'd just be being a hipster, so really, there was no chance of this not getting S tier. So yeah, it's S tier. Of course it is. Now, some of you may be surprised, this weapon isn't the most effective killing weapon damage-wise, but you cannot underestimate the power of a speed boost. If you can work with a pyro or a heavy or really any other close range class, this weapon can roll most Valve pups, no joke. Plus the extra range helps you secure those kills that you'll desperately be fighting for. So if you haven't tried this weapon already, you really should. It's really good. Batcap.exe. No, seriously, this thing can get you some absolute cheeky wins with your insane mobility. Offer a little extra bullet damage. Yeah, it doesn't have any upsides that will get you more kills, but it also doesn't really have any downsides that will get you killed. 10% less bullet resistance is so negligible that you can run this on most maps and not have to worry about anything. The problem is that these maps don't have any control points to capture, cards to push, or you're on the defending side of these maps, the upside doesn't do anything, so you'd just be better off using stock. But since the upside's really good when it can be used, this thing gets S tier. That's all of them. Trolldier got a ton more weapons just the Mantrits and the Gardener, so I hope this video helps you experiment with different weapons in his arsenal. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like or drop us up if you're looking for more content like this, as I'll be making much more in the near future. Hope you have a fabulous rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.